Facebook fans. A little bit ago I posted a picture of an 8-foot long woodworking tool, and I asked you to name the tool if you had any clue what it was. It's kind of an unusual tool. Believe it or not, most woodworkers probably don't even know about this tool. It was actually produced by a little company about 10 miles away from my house for several years. I'm not sure they make them anymore. I can tell you they are a handy thing to have. So let's take a look at what it does. Here's the name tag on it. It's called a Joint-a-Billi, and they made them in several different lengths. This one happens to be the biggest one they made. It's actually over 8 feet long, which is quite a tool to have in a wood shop like mine. So let's talk about what this thing is used for. Okay, here I've got 2 boards. Now I'm making some passage doors. If you don't know what a passage door is, you use them every day. They're the doors inside your house. Those are the doors. They're called passage doors. In this case, I'm doing a bedroom door. Now, I'm doing a 4-panel door. These boards right now are roughly about 1 inch thick, and what I've done is I've cut them on my table saw to 2 smaller pieces. That allowed me to run these pieces through my joiner. What a joiner does is it makes these boards flat. Okay, so they're nice and flat, which is what I want. I need them to be very flat. Now that I've got a flat white board, I got to glue it back together. The problem you run into when you glue these things up is that you run into, and I'll kind of see the gap there. Well, the gap disappears on this one, and the reason why it does, if I'm holding it properly anyway, is because I've used this Joint-a-Billi-T tool. And so I'm going to show you how this works. Now, a lot of woodworkers will just use a joiner, and they'll just run this board over the joiner, this board over the joiner, and glue them up. And that's okay, but that's not going to do the quality of work that this tool does. So let me walk you through what I do with this tool. Now, basically what this tool, the beauty of this tool has, you see this bar up here. The router base right here sits on either side. This is a 3/4 inch particle board here, and it either sits over here or it sits over here on this side. What that does, if you think about, the router is able to take advantage of the fact that this bar may not be perfectly straight. In fact, it doesn't even have to be perfectly straight. It's, I'm sure, as straight as they can make it, but it doesn't have to be. Because what I'm doing, try to show you this, this board here, I've got it marked here on the side. This side here is going to go up against the other edge. Now, if you watch what I do, you can't see, but I have lines here to help me line this up. And I slide this thing in. Actually, I'll slide it over here to give you a better idea. And I slide that one in over here. And then I'll run my router along there, and it gives me a nice, flat, straight edge, or at least as straight as this bar is. Okay? So now I've got a flat edge here. Okay? Now we take the second board, right here, and I put it directly opposite the other one. And again, I have lines here, so I'm lining this up so it's perfect. Clamp it down. These get clamps here. I clamp it down in place. And then I run my router. This time I got to go this way. Run the router this way. Now, what that does, I've got 2 boards that were routed, and both of them, the seam runs right along with this bar. And what that does, gives you an absolutely perfect match. There is 0 gap. When you glue these things up, there is 0 gap. You will not be able to see, especially if you get the grain lined up properly, you will not be able to see where I glued those 2 together. In this case, it doesn't matter. The door's going to get painted. But on fine wood, this thing is an amazing tool. I don't know why it didn't go over very well. It was relatively inexpensive. I think I paid $175 for it. Back in, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. Couldn't tell you. No joiner can make a joint as good as this simple little tool. All it takes is a router and a little bit of space. Okay, so that's my little educational video for tonight, I guess. So I got to get back to work and I got to get kitchen cabinets built. But thanks for watching.